Hello guys, and welcome to this session of HP Tronics. Today we will be talking about microcontrollers and look at some of the famous ones. When we think of microcontrollers, the image that comes in our mind is something like this. A black chip with a lot of pins which is required a program to run and can be hooked to our circuit or projects to control them. This is a 8051 from Intel. A famous microcontroller among starters. Also the 89C51. Remember the circuit required to run it. It made it quite bulky and difficult to use. So here comes in picture the new age controllers known as Arduino. This is an Uno revision 3. This board is the entry-level board for Arduino. Those you are starting to work with Arduino prefer and should work with this. This is the most famous Arduino. I will just remove the controller from the board and show you. This is the ATmega328P, a very famous microcontroller. I will just try to show it to you, hoping the camera would be able to capture it. You can search for the data sheet of this controller if you are interested in knowing more about this microcontroller. Let's have a closer look at the board. You can see that the board is already mounted with the necessary circuitry required to run the controller. This is the supply point to power this board through a wall adapter. And this is programming port through which you can program the board using the required USB cable. You can even see the set of 14 digital pins, 6 analog read pins and the power pins on the board. Let's put back the microcontroller in its place and continue further. The next board that I am showing you is the Arduino Mega 2560. You can say that this is the big brother of Arduino. This is also built around a similar chip but a larger one, the ATmega 2560, after which it is named. As you can see, this is of roughly double the size of Uno. This board also has the same power and the programming port. You can clearly see the increased number of pins that we have on this board. It can be used in projects requiring large number of components interfacing. Now we will be moving towards the smaller members of the stack. This is the Nano. This is also built around the ATmega 328 as the Uno. It comes in much smaller contraption as compared to others. Its small size makes it a best choice if working on projects with less space to spare. Wait, reduced size doesn't mean that we have to let go of few things. That's right, we did lose some things. And those things are the power port to power the board and the big programming port. Instead we are now left with a smaller mini USB port to program the board and even power it. The only drawback of that is that the maximum voltage that can be provided to the board comes down to 7 volts from 12 volts in Uno and Mega. There is a V-in pin through which you can power the board with 5 volts instead of going with the mini USB port. Rest all the number of pins are same as Uno. We just get slightly more analog read pins and rest is same. There is a change in construction of the board too. If you think this Nano is small, then have a look at this. The Pro Mini. This is even smaller than Nano and comes with no ports to connect to the PC and program it. Even with such a small size, there is no reduction in the number of pins in Mini. You get all the pins in Mini that you saw in Nano and Uno. You just lose the programming port. So, we require a FTDI to program the Pro Mini. That is a story to be discussed next time we meet. There are few Arduinos which are built for specific tasks and applications. This is the Lilipad. Quite a cute name. But don't judge it by that. Despite being so thin and light, this is also based on ATmega 328. The Lilipad was designed keeping in mind that it would be used in projects which require the controller to be stitched on fabric. The design of the Lilipad makes it easier to stitch it on a fabric and hide it under a logo or a piece of cloth. Some sites also claim that Lillipad comes with a nano coat which makes it water resistant and thus making it washable. But you never know. So, try that at your own risk. That's all for today, guys. Next we will see how to program these boards. So, see you next time.